Hi everyone, Massive Das here. I haven't done a video for a while, and no real news that I've actually been that interested myself or anything. But this Monday is Paris Games Week. PlayStation have got a conference. Sony have already spoke about it. They've said that it's their second half of E3. So this is part 2 of E3. Obviously they had TGS between these two shows. TGS was pretty decent. You can watch my sort of reaction video, my thoughts videos on the channel. Hey, had things like Final Fantasy 9, great game, more details on Monster Hunter World. And there's something else I was really excited for, but I can't even remember what that is now. That's how much I've really been taking notice. Been mainly playing Nintendo Switch. And interested in Switch stuff. Not really take much notice, but hopefully Sony have a great conference and they take more notice. One of the other things they've also said about these, this being the second half of E3, they're going to announce, or they're going to show 7 new games across the PlayStation family. I very much doubt we'll see anything for Vita, but obviously that should mean PS4 and PSVR. We would think so. 7 new games, that's an awful lot. It doesn't mean they're exclusive. Obviously they could show things like a new Rocksteady game, Batman Arkham 4 or whatever it is, for instance, and you think that would be multi-format. That would obviously a new game shown. I'm trying to think, obviously, of stuff that's going to be there. Obviously, this is in Europe, so this is a little bit of predictions and stuff now before we have the event on Monday. My first sort of thing is I think the PlayStation 4 Pro will have a price cut. It's currently, I believe, £350 in the UK, and I think it's going to get a cut to $299.99, so 300 quid, possibly a bundle even with like a game that like Horizon or something. They have a Game of the Year edition coming. Maybe they could bundle that in. That's one of the best games on the Pro, as in not just games on the PS4, but as in taking advantage of the Pro's capabilities. I think they'll also do this and do it soon with the Xbox One X coming out. That's 450 quid. Obviously at the moment there's 100 quid difference, but obviously if they can Sony get that down to 300, it's going to be 150 pound different. That's pretty much 3 games. I don't know if that's really like relative or anything. I think PlayStation 4 Pro is for PlayStation gamers who want an enhanced system, and I think for Xbox One X is for Xbox gamers that's one enhanced system. So I don't know if the price difference of 150 quid would make much difference, but I just think it obviously shows you the value there, and something that Sony could possibly leverage in advertising and stuff. And obviously, so I suppose some people bring up the question, well, why is this one worth £150 more? We've seen things like Assassin's Creed, obviously on Xbox One X is not 4K. It's 1900p with like super sampling and stuff, so there could come to the questions of that, but I don't think there'd be too many people that worry about that. It'd be the people that check out things like Digital Foundry, and they could be mainly PC gamers, talking about resolution and frame rate, who might not know more about like the differences, and if that's a 150 difference. So that's one prediction. Next one, I believe Quantic Dream will announce the date for Detroit Become Human. Obviously, it is in France, David Cage and Quantic Dream, so I believe that will be shown. I think that's going to be the big thing of this conference. Conference will be that game. I think Wild possibly could be shown as well from Michel Ancel. That game's not been seen since, I think, Gamescom, when Sony still went to Gamescom, not Paris, so that could be sort of shown. And obviously, Michel Ancel is based in France, so that could be, I believe he is, not Montreal. I think it's the French studio doing Beyond Good and Evil, plus it's his own studio, Black Sheep. I think they're called Black Sheep, that are doing Wild. So I think that's a possibility. And there's the other things, like these 7 games, I'm not really sure. Last Monday, Sony accidentally put up the new Planets of the Apes game. That's a bit like a Telltale point-and-click sort of venture. And it's actually from the guys that do all the motion capture and that for the Planet of the Apes film. Andy Serkis is like producer or director or something on the game as well. That just came out last Monday, went off like half an hour and came right back down. This conference is on a Monday, so I don't know if someone accidentally put it up on the wrong week, but I wouldn't be surprised if we possibly see that get released. Like, it's out now, or like the first episode. I presume it's going to be episodic, and especially if they could do like the first episode like free or something on PlayStation. Obviously, Planet of the Apes is a sort of pretty big franchise at the moment, and that could be a big sort of thing it's showing. The other one is Remedy, they're based obviously in Finland, so another European studio. I'm trying to think obviously of European studios here with Gamescom, not Gamescom, Paris Games Week. They've not done anything since Quantum Break, and they are working on a third party title, and there's been sort of conversations and interviews and stuff that with, I can't remember what he's called, he's the one that played Max Payne in like the first Max Payne game, him in interviews and stuff like that about going third party, their partnerships with Microsoft. They have got a game, it's called Project 7, so I don't know if actually Sony's actually telling the truth about the 7 games, or if it's like a little white lie, and Project 7 games, this is some sort of like play on sort of words, but I could possibly see that game appear. But I don't know if it's too soon or not. Quantum Break was a few years ago now, but obviously it had all that live action stuff and things, so I don't know how, if they move on and do more of that, because they really want to tell storytelling games like Alan Wake as well, how that would play into a game like that, and how long it would take to develop. And the other one is Jeff Keighley will be at Paris Games Week. I can't remember him ever being there, and he's tweeted that he's got some real exciting news, so you got to really look forward to this. This is the only thing, obviously, he's like best friends with Kojima, makes me think Kojima's going to be there, but I feel Death Stranding's more of a PlayStation experience thing, so don't know really what else could be shown. Could be something, I don't know, Metal Gear Remaster or something, but I can't see, because, Jeff is... big Kojima, mates of, so that would be, you'd be anti Konami, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm not sure if anything like that would be there, but yeah, there's a sort of expectations about this event is really built up. Paris Games Week's normally like a lower key event. We didn't even have one last year. Sony said they didn't have like enough to show, and this year they're going, we got 7 new games. This is our second half of E3. Jeff Keighley like traveling to there. Or it's going to be, it's going to be, great. I'm traveling there because there's this, big announcement. So I don't know if it's, as a PlayStation fan, like I said, I've not been playing much PlayStation recently, Switch, but as a PlayStation fan, I'm like really excited for this event. But I'm going in with like these huge expectations now, so I'm really curious what it is and what it means for PlayStation experience. Obviously, if this is supposed to be the second half of E3, we had TGS, which was okay. This was like 3 or 4 announcements that interest me. If this is the second half of E3, what does that mean for PSX? Like, what's Sony going to show? Hence why I bring up Death Stranding. We know Death Stranding is going to be must be a while away. Last of Us Part 2 is must be going to be a while away. See, those I think suit PSX more. Same with like Final Fantasy VII Remake. They're people that are going to pay to go to PSX and are staying up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, like myself, to watch PSX, are PlayStation fans who mostly know what those titles are, know when they're coming and stuff like that, and they don't mind seeing, this is the female led character in Death Stranding. We don't mind seeing her and knowing that we won't be able to play the game for 2 years because we don't mind waiting. I think that sort of works mainly for PSX. But obviously, if like Kojima shows up at Paris Games Week and shows the female-led character for Death Stranding, I don't know what that means for PSX. So it's really interesting for Sony at the moment. And a lot of people say, me too many shows. Like even stuff got announced RTX in London. For instance, the Blaze Blue Cross Battle Tag game got announced. It's coming to PS4 anyway, but like the date and coming to Switch and stuff. So all these like shows and events, loads gets announced, but really interesting. But if you're in the UK, it's 3 o'clock in the UK live from Paris, so you can watch that and find out. I don't know if I'd be right or wrong about these some of these predictions. I think they're all sort of safe sort of bets. Remedy ones most probably a bit iffy. Ready at Dawn possibly as well is another studio that could be showing something they've not really done it. They've done like a smaller game that was part of the Game Trust with GameStop, but otherwise they've not done anything since The Order. So I suppose they could show something, but I don't really know if anyone would be that interested in them at the moment. Their last 2 games have not been fantastic. But anyway, I've been Master Das, and I'll see you again.